Good evening, Raider baseball fans, and welcome to Raider Field, where your Rouse Raiders are set to take on the Grizzlies from Glenn High School, also here in Leander. It's baseball time in Texas, and it's Rouse Baseball on SHN Sports. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in and listening to Rouse Raider Baseball. We're excited to have you tonight. I'm Michael Francis alongside Scott Cope tonight, and we're excited about bringing you Raider Baseball. The coaches are meeting with the umpires, and the lineups will start here shortly. Well, we're going to go ahead and run down through ours, or actually let's review the other night. The first of two where Rouse Raiders dominated the Glenn Grizzlies. So it was a really close game for the first three innings, where Glenn actually held a 2-1 lead over the Rouse Raiders. And then the fourth inning came, Scott, and the wheels fell off.
The wheels fell off. It sure did, Michael. And the Grizzlies just had too many errors. The scoreboard at the end of the game said it all, and the Raiders capitalized on all the errors.
So in that inning, the Raiders had 5 hits. They had 5 walks, and there was also 5 errors committed by the Grizzlies. The Raiders batted 21 in the inning and scored 17 runs to take an 18-2 lead, and that's how the game finished, as the run rule was in effect after 5 innings. So exciting baseball for Rouse. They're 5-0 in district instead of top District 17 5A. And they are set to take on the Grizzlies tonight in Game 2 of the series. We'll go over the lineups tonight. Leading off for the Grizzlies, number 7, Noah Salcedo at second base. He's followed by number 3, Daniel Vasquez at short. Number 12, Carson Garza will be the designated hitter. He will be hitting for number 1, Aaron Valverde in left field. Number 24, Trent Brown will be at first and batting fourth. Number 8, James Horton will be at third base. Number 14, Josh Pachenywick will be in center. Number 15, Elijah Samaha will be in right. Number 19, Zach Hefner will be behind the plate. And rounding out the order, number 2, Gabe Bolden will be the starting pitcher for the Grizzlies tonight.
Number 24, playing first base, Trent Brown.
For the Raiders, number 6, Jake Aleppa will be leading off. He will be in center field. He will be followed by number 15, Dalton Porter. Porter will be in right field tonight. Number 22, Connor Bennett will be at short. He will be followed by number 24, Lance Little at first base. Number 23, Jared Southard will be on the hill for the Raiders tonight. Dylan Lewis, number 1, will be at second base. Number 4, Tanner Robbins will be the designated hitter. He will be hitting for number 14, Alex Servidis in left field. Number 3, Matt Garza will be at third base and batting 8th. And rounding out the order will be number 5, Fisher Kingsbury for the Raiders. Hey, how are you doing, Mr. Tucker? William Tucker in the booth. He just stepped in. This is Devin Tucker's dad, one of these alumni dads, right, Scott?
That's right. Always good to have alumni come back, especially the parents.
It's good to see you. So you may recognize the Raiders have different numbers on tonight. This is because of the uniforms they are wearing.
For the Raiders, number 23, Jared Southern and TJ Dominguez.
They are in their pinstripe uniforms.
Playing second base.
And so the number, they don't have necessarily all the numbers for each of the players. I guess over the years the uniforms have worn holes in them or become unusable, and so those numbers are no longer good, or maybe they've disappeared. Maybe some former students might have them in their closet at home.
No, that would never happen. You keeping a keepsake.
Right. Head coach for the Rouse Raiders, Chad Krempine.
The head coach for the Rouse Raiders is Chad Krempine. Assistant coach Josh Harris.
And Josh Harris is assistant coach. We kind of get a giggle with that because Coach Crimpine kind of gave Don Porter a little bit of grief about not giving him any love and announcing him during the game. We're going to take a break for just a moment for the national anthem. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Play ball, as they say, and we're set to get things started here in Leander. Jared Southard will get his warm-up pitches here in just a bit. So a nice little event happening here tonight, Raider night. And Jaime Caro started this last year, didn't he, Scott?
That's right.
And bringing some of the Little League teams. And the position players will be announced with the Rouse Raider position players and get to go out on the field with their high school counterparts. So, big thing to get to go out there with the big kids. Or the big boys, I guess you could say. Well, it's a beautiful night for baseball here in Leander. We need to get Scott a cough button.
Something. I had to go get a shot today. Finally had to break down and go to the team doctor, Dr. Egglesty in Leander. And he gave me a cortisone shot. And lo and behold, the nurse, after she gave it to me, snuck on a little Garfield Band-Aid without my knowledge.
Well, how about that? Well, I'll tell you what, the smoke from the grill is coming up from the concession stand right now. Hamburgers cooking, really working me over right now, to be honest with you. But that's how it is at the ballpark. An exciting night for the Raiders as we get going here. Fisher Kingsbury gives the throw down. And we are ready to go. Wind blowing out of the south. A beautiful sunny afternoon or evening here in Leander. Leading off for the Grizzlies, number 7, Noah Salcedo. Salcedo plays second base for the Grizzlies. Southard deals a fastball upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Salcedo. The 1-0 pitch. That is chopped on and fouled back out of play. That'll even the count up at 1. Our scoreboard operator is not working right now. Oh, look, there it is. 1-1 the count. You can tell that vacation he had, it's really taking its toll. The 1-1, this is chopped on and fouled back out of play again, and the count goes to 1-2.
Another one of those nights, Michael, where the wind is really, really strong again, blowing straight out to left.
The 1-2 pitch tails away and just misses the zone for ball 2. The count will even up to Salcedo. Daniel Vasquez on deck for the Grizzlies. Noah Saucedo takes for strike 3 and is retired for the first out. That'll be a backwards K for Saucedo. Number 3, Daniel Vasquez stands in. Vasquez, the shortstop for the Grizzlies. Pitch from Southard is cut on and fouled. I'm not sure that it was fouled. I think he swung at it and it popped out of the glove of Fisher Kingsbury. One strike to Vasquez. He takes for ball 1. That'll even the count up. 1-1. Nobody on with 1 out in the top of the first in a scoreless ball game here on Raider Field. Vasquez takes for ball 2. 2-1 the count. Fastball fouled back to the net for strike 2. That'll even up. 2-2. Defensively for the Raiders, Southern on the mound, Kingsbury behind the plate, Little at first, Lewis at second, Bennett at short, Garcia at third. Breaking ball sails high, and the count goes full to Vasquez. Servidis in left, Alepa in center, and Porter in right. The payoff pitch, curveball sails high for ball 4, and Vasquez draws the walk.
That's going to bring up the DH, number 12, Carson Garza.
The designated hitter, number 12, Carson Garza, comes to the plate. He digs in from the right side. He is hitting for the left fielder, number 1, Aaron Valverde. Southern from the stretch. Fastball sails high and tails in for ball 1. The 1-0, 1 on with 1 out. Throw over to first. In time. Oh, my goodness.
I guess the sun got in the umpire's eyes. Oh.
Now Coach Crimpine is coming out to argue.
Yep, coach is doing what he's supposed to do. You ask for help, got to protect your player.
It's funny, you got some fans saying throw him out. It's just silly. It's not a heated argument. So Coach Crimpine talks his case, and to no avail. Sometimes umpires can be short-fused. And
right. They have a job to do, and it's all how you do the job.
1 ball, no strikes to Garza. Throw over. In time. He got him that time.
Are we sure?
And I think he may have actually got tagged in the face. He is holding his head down. So he may got busted in the nose. Two away as Vasquez is picked off there at first. That'll go 1-3 on the putout. 2-0 the count to Garza as he took for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch from Southern. That's hit back up the middle. Bounces off the glove of Bennett and into shallow center field. And Garza will reach on the error.
That's just a real shame there. We got to help out your pitcher there. And unusual error for Connor Bennett. Usually a really golden glove out there.
That'll bring up the first baseman, number 24, Trent Brown. One on with 2 outs. Swing and a miss from Brown for strike 1. Runner at first. No score here in the top of the first. Fastball from Southard. I mean, he is. Kingsbury turn around and ask the umpire where that missed. I mean, the catcher knew it was a strike, but 1-1 the count to Brown. That fastball misses outside, and that's through the glove. That'll be a pass ball on Fisher Kingsbury.
Jared needs to get settled down just a little bit.
Garza now at second. 2-1 the count to Brown. Curveball from Southard. Swing and a miss from Brown for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. That's deuces wild for Trent Brown. Garza extends his lead at second. Another curveball, and that'll retire Trent Brown and the Grizzlies. No runs on no hits, 1 error, 1 left on. After 1/2, it's scoreless here in Leander, and the Raiders are due up in the bottom. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Scott, we got any barbecue or anything like that to talk about this evening?
We've got quite a bit. We got our program out and want to do a big shout out to Bohemians Barbecue, proud sponsor of the Rouse baseball program. They sponsor the barbecue that goes into our concession stand. But I understand they've got a pretty nice food truck out in Jonestown. If you're out that way, please stop in and see them. Tell them that you heard about them on SHN and the broadcast. Proud supporters of Rouse Raider Baseball, Bohemians Barbecue.
I'll tell you what, this is a nice looking program if you can get your hands on one. It is well put together.
You know, Micah, we were talking earlier about last Tuesday night, I believe, these 2 teams meeting up, and I want to remind some of our listeners, maybe some of our alumni, that most of these players have known each other since elementary and junior high years. They played together. And when Glenn High School opened up, that split the district a little bit. So some of these players have some bantering going back and forth. They've known each other since pre-teenage years, and we'll see how it goes tonight.
For the Raiders, it's going to be number 6, Jake Alepa.
Jake Alepa comes to the plate. He'll lead off the first for the Raiders. Defensively for the Grizzlies. On the mound, Gabe Bolden. Behind the plate, Zach Hefner. Trent Brown at first, Noah Salcedo at second, Daniel Vasquez at short, James Horton at third, Valverde in left, Pachinowick in center, and Samaha in right. Alepa takes for strike 1. Dalton Porter on deck for the Raiders. The 0-1 about shoulder high for ball 1. Fastball down the middle for a called strike 2. 1-2 the count for Jake Alepa. Pitch from Bolden. Misses low for ball 2, and the count evens. Swing and a miss from Alepa Or actually, I guess he got a foul tip on it. The 2-2, swing and a miss on some high cheese on the outside corner for strike 3. And Alepa is retired for out number 1.
Dalton Paul Porter coming to the plate. Reminds us it's time to send a shout out to Dalton's aunt, Kendallyn Harris, listening all the way from Seattle. It's a long way away. Hopefully our broadcast is making it that far.
Porter takes for ball 1. That's a fastball outside. Bolden deals. This is cut on and hit out toward center. Pachenwick over, makes the catch, and Porter is retired.
Being told that Dalton also has 2 cousins that live in that area, Grant and Kaylin. Hopefully they're listening in tonight. Watch cousin Dalton play some baseball.
Number 22, Connor Bennett digs in from the right side. Bolden winds. He deals. He gets the outside corner for strike 1. Bolden gets the sign he likes. He winds and fires home. This is cut on and popped up into center field. Pachenwick over, makes the catch, and Bennett is retired, and that'll do it for the Raiders. Raiders go in order, 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on after 1 complete. It's scoreless here at Raider Field. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Due up for the Grizzlies in the second, Horton, Pachenwick, and Samaha.
Friends, this inning change is brought to you by another one of our supporters of the program, Austin Pro Siding and Windows. They're a proud supporter of Austin Rouse Raider Baseball. Look, our press box, we're announcing at the same time, so we don't want to talk over each other, but Austin Pro Siding and Windows has been helping Austin homeowners with siding and window projects for over 6 years. So if you have a remodeling project, consider contacting Austin Pro Siding and Windows, another proud supporter of the Rouse Raider baseball team. And we certainly thank them. They provided a sizable donation this year.
And we appreciate their donation to Raider Baseball. The third baseman, number 8, James Horton, stands in. He takes for strike 1. Yes, he did. The 0-1 from Southard sails high for ball 1. That'll even the count. The 1-1 pitch, curveball in for strike 2. Southern's curveball seems to be working really well early on.
Getting back on track here. He just looks a little out of sync, but maybe this will help him out.
1-2. He swung at that.
Well, so I guess we're going to go full count.
No, it's a 2-2.
Oh, deuce is wild.
2-2 the count, and it tails away for ball 3, and the count works full. The payoff pitch that's cut on and fouled off down the third baseline. And the count remains full. Grizzlies in their orange tops. Sutter deals curveball in for strike 3. And Horton is retired.
14 for the Grizzlies, Josh Pachinowick.
Seems to be a little animosity out there.
Just a little. The left-right speeches have started.
Little good rivalry going on.
Yeah, it looks like Mr. and Mrs. Rouse are here. They're in their golf cart and they're assigned parking.
Josh Pachinowick stands in from the right side. He takes for ball 1 on a pitch that gets to the backstop. The 1-0 from Southard. Curveball cut on and missed for strike 1. That'll even the count. He's getting a lot of movement on his curveball today. Fastball is cut on and hit foul for strike 2. Pachinowick down in the count, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch from Southern. Curveball sails high for ball 2. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball in for strike 3, and Pachinowick caught looking. 2 away. That's the fourth strikeout of the game for Southern. He struck out 4 out of 6 batters. Fastball goes way wide to Elijah Samaha. He takes for ball 1. Samaha, the right fielder for the Grizzlies, the 1-0. That's fouled off as Samaha was way out ahead of that one. But that will do one thing, and that will even the count.
Even the count.
The 1-1 pitch, curveball. Strike 2. And it's getting to where it seems like it's automatic. 1-2 the count to Samaha. Sutter toes the rubber and deals a fastball or slider that goes outside for ball 2. It seems like he may be working with a very tight grip. Curveball swung on and missed for strike 3, and Southern strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Grizzlies in the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. And after 1.5, we're still scoreless here in Leander. Well, it's a busy weekend here in Austin, Texas. A lot of things going on this weekend. There's a race out at Coda.
There's Texas Relays are in town. The
swimming championships are going on at UT. The Dell match play is going on at Austin Country Club over off of 360, and I have avoided that area like the plague.
That's right. You know what else is going on? It's college baseball, Michael. Let's check in with the local, the teams. You're fighting Texas Aggies right now are 0-0, bottom of the third, playing Missouri.
Leading off the bottom of the second is going to be number 24 for the Raiders, Lance Little.
Number 24, Lance Little, the big first baseman for the Raiders. Little, a junior, batting for the first time tonight. Little batting in the 4th spot. Gabe Boulding on the hill for the Grizzlies. Deals outside and low for ball one. The 1-0 pitch, that's cut on and hit way deep to left and foul, and that was way out of the park. If that had been straight, it would. I think he would have hit that
hit
the board over there, the climbing wall for the ROTC over there. 1-1 the count to Little. Bolden comes set, he deals. This is popped up. Shallow infield. Vasquez tracks it. He makes the catch. And Little is retired for out number one.
That's going to bring out number 23 for the Raiders.
David just wasn't able to get completely under it.
Number 23, Jared Southard, comes to the plate. He digs in from the right side. Bolden winds and fires inside for ball one. A 1-0. That's in for a called strike. It's kind of funny. Seems like every time he gets a strike call, Bolden smiles. Pitch misses low.
Gabe's another one of
Ball
those
two.
players we talked about earlier. Started with the Rouse program. Glenn High School opened. He transferred over there.
Swing and a miss from Southard as he was swinging for the fences. That'll even the count up at 2. The 2-2, this is fouled back out of play. 1 out with nobody on here in the bottom of the second. We're scoreless with Jared Southard at the plate. The 2-2 pitch from Bolden. Southard checks his swing and holds up. He'll take ball 3. And the count works full. The payoff pitch is cut on. This is hit out to left. That's over the head of Valverde and to the fence. Southard will come in with a stand-up double.
Really good hit there, Michael. Got a solid hit. Like we said, the wind's blowing straight out to left. Just went over the left fielder's head.
I think he got a little wind-aided help from that.
What's the first rule you teach Little League outfielders? It's always easier to run forward
than it is to spin and turn backwards.
Always run backwards first.
Number 18, Ethan Moore, comes on to courtesy run for Southard. Dylan Lewis comes to the plate.
Dylan, one of the varsity players, senior players.
Bolden from the stretch. He checks Moore back at second. Lewis fouls this one back to the backstop for strike 1. Tanner Robbins on deck for the Raiders. Moore dives back in as Bolden spun around and tried to pick him off at second. Moore getting his uniform dirty. The 0-1, that's in the dirt for ball 1.
And the sun now has moved beyond the pitcher's mound, so we don't have that issue with the sun being in the pitcher's eyes.
Bolden spins around to fake an attempt, and Moore dives back in just to be safe. 1-1 pitch. This is hit out to left. Moore around third. He will score. And Lewis to second on the throw to home. Lewis picks up the RBI single. And a stolen base on the throw to home.
Big D comes through again. Scrappy hitter. Outstanding base runner.
Number 4 for the Raiders, Tanner Robbins.
Raiders take a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the second. And that'll bring up number 4, Tanner Robbins. A lot of good Raider faithful have worn that number.
Quite a few.
One I think right off the top of my head, Taylor Ward, 2014 graduate. Robbins takes for ball 1. Ward, a 3-year varsity player. Catcher. Robbins takes for strike 1. His sophomore year, when he came up to varsity, he actually did a little bit of pitching. But then exclusively became a catcher. The 1-1 pitch, this is fouled off for strike 2. One and 2 the count to Robbins. 1 on with 1 out. Dylan Lewis standing at second base. Bolden delivers a high for ball 2. That'll even the count at 2. Bolden comes set. He deals. This is cut on. This is hit out to left. This is going to be over the park. It's a home run for Tanner Robbins. He takes it yard to left. And the Raiders take a 3-0 lead here in the second. On the dinger from Tanner Robbins.
Yeah, and I believe the left fielder knew that when he watched it sail over.
That's a good feeling.
That's a great feeling.
Tip of the cap to Tanner Robbins on his first home run of the season.
Now up for the Raiders, number 3.
Give equal time here. The Longhorn baseball team has gone up 1-0, bottom of the second against Xavier.
Playing Xavier. Xavier out of Ohio.
Good ball club.
Pitch from Bolden outside for ball 1. Garcia, 8th in the order, batting 8th in the order. For third baseman, and bounces in the dirt for ball 2. And Robbins gave that thing a ride.
He gave it a ride. Guess that's why he's the DH.
The 2-0 pitch, that's in the dirt for ball 3, and
I think Gabe is a little shaken up.
It might be a good opportunity for his coach to just go out there and just kind of settle him down just a little bit. Three balls, no strikes to Garcia. Pitch for Bolden. I think that nearly hit him. As he takes off as he draws the walk. And that'll bring up the catcher, number 5, Fisher Kingsbury. And the coach does call time. He's going to go out and talk to his
That's a good call,
pitcher.
Michael. Coach needs to get out there and settle him down a little bit.
Yep.
Got a lot of baseball left.
Well, Gabe's been doing a good job up until
Well, the bio on Mr. Kingsbury, our next batter, according to his dad, he likes eating a lot. and likes to helping Dad out at the ranch. His favorite subjects are math and physics. Has 2 sisters. One's a JV cheerleader at Rouse, and also she runs track, and the other is a 7th grader at Stiles, plays softball and basketball. So that's the bio on Mr. Kingsbury.
You know, I can believe that he probably does. I went to high school with a young man named Eric Sparkman, and he was tall and lean like Fisher, and that guy could put away more food than you could shake a stick at.
I can tell you, my oldest Robert, he can eat an item that's not on the Whataburger menu, but you can order it. It's a triple meat cheeseburger.
Oh, really?
And
well, that's a lot of meat.
That's a lot of food.
This cut on and hit up the middle. This will drop in for a base hit. Raiders will have 2 aboard. Kingsbury with a single on the first pitch.
Do you know, Michael, there's sometimes you want just a good dessert like a snow cone you mentioned the other night.
Yes.
You know, I told this story. A real good friend of mine's an investigator, and her treat to herself was to get a snow cone whenever she got a confession. And then if she made him cry, she'd get a jumbo snow cone.
Number 16, Kane Adamus. It's a courtesy run for Kingsbury. That'll bring up Jake Alepa. Jake 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first. Pitch for Bolden. And Alepa. A double play. And that'll end the inning. And that's kind of a weird play right there.
That's a weird play. I thought Garcia was safe at third because the pitcher
he
bobbled
delayed,
the ball.
Yeah, he delayed running to third because I guess it looked like the pitcher was going to catch it.
Right, and he had to delay to make sure he tagged up. And well, baseball's a game of inches, folks.
That's going to go 1-5 and 5-4. On the putouts. Alepa hits into a fielder's choice.
Alepa. Nickname he earned down in Corpus.
Raiders score 3 off of 3 hits, and they strand none. On to the third we go. Your Rouse Raiders leading this one 3-0.
Friends, the third inning's brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Does your current career have you in a pickle? Reach out to Dale Vanoy with Farmers Insurance and learn how to hit a home run with your new career. Thank you, Dale and the Vanoy family, for continuing to support Rouse baseball. Another alumni family. Their son Cody graduated last year, all-state catcher.
Top of the third inning, number 9, the Grizzlies, Zach Hefner.
The catcher, number 9, Zach Hefner, comes to the plate for the Grizzlies. Hefner batting 8th in the order for the Grizzlies. Pitch for Southern. This is a fastball, and it's hit foul down the third base side. That'll be a strike 1 for Zach Hefner. And I'm writing it in the wrong box. Come on, Francis.
It's okay. I was coughing earlier, but I think, like I said, that shot I got earlier must be helping. Or it's the Garfield Band-Aid they snuck on my arm.
That's what it is. The 0-2, swing and a miss for strike 3, and Hefner is retired. That is the 6th strikeout for Jared Southern.
Do we have any
that'll bring up
scouts here tonight?
The number 9 hitter. That's the pitcher, number 2, Gabe Bolden. Southern from the windup, he deals, misses the outside corner for ball one, which looked pretty good to me, but I don't get paid to call balls and strikes. Fouled off back to the fence. That'll even the count up at 1. I don't know if you've seen this there's kind of a little comic type drawing. And it's a baseball game going on. And after this pitch, swing and foul. I think it's strike 2, 1 and 2 the count to Bolden. But anyway, it's a ball game going on, and the umpire goes time, and the caption says, oh, said time. That was a strike. The gentleman in the stands was right.
The gentleman in the stands, yeah.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7.
Back at the top of the lineup, we got number 7 for the Grizzlies, Noah Saucedo.
Noah Saucedo 0 for 1. He was caught looking back in the first. Curveball backs Saucedo off the plate for strike 1.
Yeah. Quit crowding the plate. Brush him back.
Southern really struggling with his slider. Hit misses for ball 1, so that'll even the count up at 1. Curveball drops in for strike 2.
He's got good command of his curve.
1 and 2, and it's worked for him
that slider.
The whole time. Wow.
I'm not sure where that missed.
2-2 the count. To Saucedo. 2 outs with nobody on. A swing and a miss. Drop third strike, and Kingsbury tags him to complete the strikeout. That's strikeout number 8. And Southern strikes out the side for the second straight inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 2.5, it's 3-0 Raiders. Due up for the Raiders in the bottom will be Porter, Bennett, and Little. And Gabe Bolden back on the hill to pitch the third for the Grizzlies.
That's a good call by coach of the Grizzlies. Keep him out there.
So that's where my bell money's going, right back to here? Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad I'm
Dalton Porter comes to the plate for the Raiders. So the umpire sweeps off the plate.
Yeah, somebody was supposed to paint home plate white and didn't quite make it. Had a busy week.
Dalton Paul Porter stands in from the left side. It's a righty-lefty matchup. The pitch from Bolden misses the outside corner for ball 1. 1-0 pitch inside for ball 2. Two 2-0 the count to Porter. Pitch gets the outside corner for strike 1. 2-1 the count. Foul tip, and that'll even the count up at 2.
Dalton, another University of Texas commit. Him and Jared Southard. And Dalton's a junior. And his dad's in the press box helping us out run the scoreboard.
Well, I look forward
and the announcing.
I look forward to seeing these young men in their collegiate careers. Bolden Dills high and outside for ball 3, and the count works full. Field in full shade now as the sun has gone over the horizon. Payoff pitch, that's fouled off, and Porter way ahead on it.
Well, I'm sure as he starts his collegiate career that he's going to need money, and if Aunt Kindlin's listening in Seattle, it's never too early to start sending those checks, Aunt Kindlin.
Aunt Kindlin, please send checks. Payoff pitch from Bolden. This is fouled out of play. And the count remains. Payoff pitch. This one hit out to deep to right. Samaha over. Makes the catch. And Porter is retired.
That's going to bring up number 22 for the Raiders, Connor Bennett.
On a deep fly ball to right. It looked like it had the potential when it came off the bat that it might go over the fence. But then the wind just kind of knocked it down, and Samaha able to make the catch for the out.
Yeah, friends, we can still see the flags in there.
Bennett hits this one to short, throws over to first in time. That was deep in the hole.
Well, flags are still straight out to left field.
That brings up number 24 for the Raiders, Lance Little.
Number 24, Lance Little comes to the plate. Little flew out to short into shallow left center. Pitch in the dirt for ball 1. One-0 pitch from Bolden. In for a called strike.
The delayed strike call.
Count even at 1. This is popped up. This could be playable. And it's going to fall foul as they lost sight of it in the lights. Count remains 1-2. Nobody on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Your Rouse Raiders leading 3-0 over the Tom Glenn Grizzlies. 1-2 pitch. That's cut on and hit back up the middle to short. Vasquez has it, throws over to first in time.
Oh, that's all right. The calls are not going the Raiders' way tonight, folks.
That looked like it was a bang-bang play, and that the call did, as you said, didn't go the Rouse Raiders' way. Raiders go in order in the third. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 3 complete, Rouse Raiders 3, Glenn Grizzlies nothing. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Michael, we talked about this, I believe, Tuesday night, but when you're hungry, we have another sponsor now, Reality's Italian Cafe.
Well, that sounds really good
and
right
they
now.
are good.
Really good.
Go by there and see Gino. Go see his dad, Bob, who started it all. Proud Navy veteran. Thank you for his service.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bob, for your service.
More than likely find Bob working at night, wearing a coat and tie, walking around, greeting everyone, making sure everyone's happy. Really good food.
I'll have to go there one time.
Anderson Mill Road and 183. Go get the Sal's Calzone, named after the other son, Salvador. We called him Sally. Retired APD. And if you want a calzone, that's the one you get.
I love a good calzone.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love good calzone. Number 3, Daniel Vasquez comes to the plate for the Grizzlies. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Vasquez grounded out. No. He got caught stealing. He drew the walk and then got picked off at first. One and one the count to Vasquez. Fouled back out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, that's fouled back out of play, and Vasquez stays alive. Southern working quickly, which he usually does. Slips in a changeup and strikes him out as he swings and misses, thinking he was getting the fastball.
Bring up number 12 for the Grizzlies, Carson Garza.
Raider dugout giving a little bit of encouragement.
Let's hit out to left. And Raiders were playing the shift. Garza will come in with a double.
Good solid hit.
Because they were playing him toward left center.
I'm not sure. That's with the wind blowing the way it is, you might want to shade a little bit more toward the foul line.
Runner at second with one out. Cool. In the form of Carson Garza, is it Trent Brown comes to the plate. Brown, a strikeout victim earlier. He tried to check his swing, but went around just too far for strike 1. Southern from the stretch. Checks Garza back at second. Fastball down the middle for a called strike. There was no doubt about that.
No, there wasn't.
Which that's been a tough strike for Southern to get so far this evening. As usually the umpire has ruled it high. The 0-2 to Brown. Curveball that bounces in the dirt and away from Kingsbury. Garza stays anchored to second base. 1-2 the count to Brown. Fastball upstairs for ball 2. That'll even the count. I don't know if you've noticed, but Brown has a full beard.
Actually, Brown was another one of the freshmen here at Rouse. And then when Glenn High School opened, they were zoned for Glenn. Had the pleasure of coaching him in the pre-freshman years.
Southern spins off and looks Garza back to second. Pitch, this is hit back up the middle. Southern has it, throws over to first. And Brown is retired. 1-3 on the putout for out number 2.
Number 8 for the Grizzlies, James Horton.
The third baseman, number 8, James Horton, comes to the plate. Horton 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second. 1 on with 2 out. Here in the top of the 4th, your Raiders lead 3-0. Southern drops in his signature curveball for strike 1. Southern checks Garza back at second. Comes set and comes home. Fastball in for strike 2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and that's strikeout number 10 for Southern. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. After 3.5, it's your Rouse Raiders 3, Glen Grizzlies nothing. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Well, that was a sharply hit double by Garza for the stand-up double.
Solid hit.
Thank you, Dale, for sponsoring Raider Baseball.
Gabe Bolden back on the hill for the Grizzlies to pitch the 4th.
It looks like we have full stands, Michael. This is a rivalry game. Rivalry game. You say toy boat 5 times in a row if you can.
Right, yeah. Don't get me started on that. I'll mess that one
Yeah.
up. Due up for the Raiders in the 4th, Southern, Lewis, and Robbins. Southern got things started with a stand-up double. And Lewis scored Ethan Moore on the following single. And then Tanner Robbins brought him home and took him yard. So I need to give Lewis credit with the RBI.
Jared Southern.
And Robbins credit with the RBI. Southern 1 for 1 with a double. So he takes for a strike. The 0-1 pitch from Bolden. That's fouled off and to the backstop for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Jared Southern. Bolden just misses the outside corner, but to be honest with you, that looked like a really good pitch.
Strike. Sure did.
Looked like a really good pitch from Mr. Bolden. The 1-2 pitch, that's high and outside for ball 2. Count evens back up. Tanner Robbins on deck for the Raiders. Bolden winds and delivers. This is fouled off. Southern just got the tip of his bat on it. Able to foul it off and stay alive. Well, we're in the 4th, Scott, and this is where we typically have our streaming bugaboos. And right now, things look good.
Log on and make sure we're not having any issues.
2-2, swing and a miss on a pitch that was down and away for strike 3.
Have any of our fans listening? Let us know if the streaming stops. We've been technical difficulties last week, but I think we got them fixed.
That's the 2nd strikeout for Bolden. That'll bring up Dylan Lewis. I said Tanner Robbins on deck a while ago, but it was Dylan Lewis. Lewis takes for ball 1. Now it's Tanner Robbins on deck. I'm right now. The 1-0 from Bolden. Misses outside for ball 2. Misses high for ball 3. The state-ranked Georgetown Eagles are playing Bastrop tonight. Both those teams were former district rivals.
Right.
The 3-0 misses for ball 4.
Big D gets on
And
first
Lewis draws the walk.
See if Tanner can work some magic here again.
It's only the second walk given up by Bolden. Matt Garcia. We'll make that mistake again.
Well, we had Matt Garza come through the program.
Throw over to first. Not in time. That's what it was.
That's what it is.
Got me.
Another alumni family, the Garzas.
Yeah, the Garzas. On the playoff team just a couple of years ago.
Right.
That pitch sails high for ball one. A 1-0, a curveball. Drops in for a strike. That'll leave an count up at 1. 1 on with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 4th, your Rouse Raiders leading 3-0. Raiders with 4 hits in the game so far. Pitch inside, and what's that move you call, Scott? Robbins hooches back.
Oh, yep. He's gonna.
You call that? You have a move that you call that.
Oh, now I'm drawing a blank.
Come on, man. You patented that.
Yeah.
Two and 1 the count. Actually 3 and 1. I missed the ball somewhere. The 3-1 drops in for a strike, and the count goes full. Lewis extends his lead at first. Bolden throws over and sails wide of the bag. That wind's still going pretty good.
It's going great.
That's cut on and hit out to left.
Mr. Robbins maintains a hot bat.
Robbins with the single.
That'll bring in number 3 for the Raiders, Matt Garcia.
And the third baseman, Matt Garcia, will come to the plate. Garcia drew the walk his last at bat and got caught up in that fielder's choice on the double play.
Matt, one of the few seniors on this varsity squad.
Takes for ball 1.
His hobbies or his plans next year, he's going to Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word.
Yeah, and
The 1-0, this is hammered back up the middle. They turn 1, and they get 2. They pick up their second double play. And that'll end it for the Raiders.
I just got word from the concession stand, and they're ready for you.
So they turned
So go get a hamburger.
a 6-4, 4-3 double play.
Popcorn, chips, nachos,
it was
soft
a
drinks,
good
and
double
water.
play, just
It's all over
not
there.
for the right team. Oh, so here's an update, folks, for our other scores tonight. Your Fighting Texas Aggies are actually losing 2-0.
Oh, that's too bad.
Hey, hey, hey. Like Robert Earl Keene said, oh no, some non-Aggie fans in the front porch song.
Hey, I've got an A&M shirt. Actually, I've got 3 of them.
Going to the top of the 6th against Missouri, they're losing 2-0. So got a lot of baseball left in that game.
Ray.
Yeah, the Longhorns got to bounce back from their series loss. As games that they were well in control of and should have swept the series against TCU. Late inning meltdowns by the Longhorns. But that's baseball.
That's baseball.
Schlossnagel runs a great program up there in Fort Worth.
Brings up number 14.
Number 14, Josh Pachiniuk. Or not, let me correct that. Pachiniuk. Curveball swung on and missed for strike one.
Much different game going into the 5th inning than it was Tuesday night.
It's another swing and a miss for strike two. Right, yeah, the Grizzlies were able to get through the 4th and drew a sigh of relief.
That was a long inning, wasn't it?
It was. 0-1 misses high for ball one. Actually, it should be, it was the 0-2. Foul tip. And Pachiniuk stays alive. Because you look at the spelling of this young man's name, there's no N in there, so swing and a miss for strike three.
There's that nasty pitch Jared has command over tonight.
Southern picks up strikeout number 11.
For the Grizz, Elijah Samaha.
Samaha takes for strike one. Elijah Samaha standing in. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Southern working fast now, Michael.
He takes again for strike two and falls quickly behind 0-2. Southern deals. This was lined to third. Garcia catches it, and he is retired. L5 on the putout.
Matt's really grown into that third base position. Coach tried him there, I think, about 3 games ago, and
yeah,
he's really evolved into that.
He's been there, I think, all district.
Right.
So far.
Yeah, all district play.
Zach Hefner stands in. He fouls it off for strike one. No pitch as Hefner called time, and Southern already in motion. The umpire does not necessarily have to give time just because the batter calls it.
Yeah, it's more of a courtesy, but I think there's umpires trying to send a message from that first inning.
0-1 pitch in for a called strike. That makes the count 0-2. Nobody on with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th with your Rouse Raiders leading 3-0 over the Grizzlies. Southern deals. Oh, he calls it a ball. I mean, even Hefner thought it was a strike as he was about to walk out of the box. 1-2. Swing and a miss. A drop third strike. Kingsbury throws it and completes the strikeout. Strikeout number 12 for Jared Southern.
Okay, a little bit of drama at home plate, but
No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 4.5, it's your Rouse Raiders 3, Tom Glen Grizzlies nothing. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Thank you to the following continued support of the Raiders baseball: Bohemian Barbecue, Lowe's in Leander, Riley's Italian Cafe, Lacombe Chiropractor, Zach Simp at Kane Southwest Outdoor Facility in Leander. Last but not least, Minutemen Press and Waterboy Graphics. Thank you to all.
We heard a whole list of sponsors from the PA announcer, Don Porter, or Donald Porter. He
Donald
goes by
Porter.
either.
No,
Donald Paul Porter.
Donald, I think he's the dad of one of our players, isn't
I
he?
think he is.
Yeah. Which Dalton always looks back and goes, "Thanks, Mom. You're the best mom ever."
Mm-hmm. Due up for the Raiders in the 5th, Kingsbury, Aleppa, and Porter. Yeah, my wife early on, my wife and I had decided that we weren't going to have any juniors. And so we
just freshmen, sophomore, and seniors, huh?
yeah. So there wasn't
Hey,
gonna,
I'm live, folks. I'm
there wasn't going to be any Michael Francis Juniors in there, and guess if we're going middle names, Michael Patrick Francis Jr.
Sweet Joseph Matty.
Yeah, so there wasn't going to be one of those. But what happened with our third child was when he was born, she decided that at least one of our boys needed to have my name and his name.
My youngest,
Kingsbury takes for ball 1.
my youngest is a Michael, and he is a sophomore.
The 1-0 pitch, that's in the dirt for ball 2.
It's always
So-
that second kid you got to watch out for.
Yep. So Seth, when he was born, he became Seth Michael Francis.
Remember Seth well on the ball club.
2-0 in for a called strike. It was a little iffy if you ask me, but my opinion doesn't matter. The 2-1 from Bolden, that's low for ball 3. Three and 1 the count to Fisher Kingsbury. So he takes for ball 4. And he will scamper down to first base.
That brings up number 6.
Kane Adamas comes in to courtesy run for him. Back to the top of the order we go with Jake Aleppa coming to the plate.
Jake's dad's a concession stand manager. He's down there tonight.
And
Appreciate his help.
He does a fine job. He is
Yeah.
the kindest man. Every time he sees me, he asks me if I need anything, and he always tries to take care of me. I explain to him when it's game day, I don't eat or drink anything
Right.
until after the game for obvious reasons.
It's a,
All right.
Pitching
well, that'll
change.
do it for Gabe Boulding. There's the pitching change. I think so. Number 5, Austin Martin, comes on in relief of Gabe Bolden.
tell you a story about Mr. Martin when he was a freshman for the Raiders. Another player that got caught up in the Glenn High School rezoning, either pre-freshman or freshman, I can't remember. But he was sliding into second base over at McNeil High School, Round Rock, and had a freak accident and broke his left arm.
Oh, my goodness.
It was when the Raiders were playing McNeil in a pre-district game.
Martin, a righty. Looks like so far he's throwing a little bit harder than Bolden was.
Friends, this pitching change is brought to you by the Williamson County Deputies Association, another proud, long sponsor of the Rouse Raider baseball program, protecting those who protect you. Thank you to the Williamson County Deputies Association.
Thank you for all you do.
That'll bring up number 6 for the Raiders, Jake Aleppo.
One of my closest friends, his son and my son were best friends growing up, and we all went to church together. His son became a police officer in Watauga. Aleppo comes to the plate. He shows bunt, and he lays off. That pitch from Martin sails high for ball 1.
Where's Watauga at? I must admit.
Watauga is up by Hershey, Euless, Bedford area, North Richland Hills.
Okay.
Back pick from Hefner down to Brown, not in time, as Adamas dives back in. So Marshall worked through high school as a jailer and eventually was sponsored to the Fort Worth Police Academy. Swing and a foul tip back to the fence for Aleppo. And came on board full-time for the Watauga Police Department and has excelled there. He got his SWAT certification and just recently took his corporal exam and passed it, and was promoted to corporal. And at 26 years old, or he'll be 26 in May. Adamas slides in safe. The throw down from Hefner was too high.
And that's the right call, Michael, for fans that are listening or maybe viewing on the screen there. When the second baseman had to jump that high, you know he's not on the bag. That's a good stolen base. Grizzlies coach going out just to clarify, I guess, ask for some help.
Well, he didn't win the argument. Pretty much the way Coach Crampine did not win his argument early.
No.
But he pled his case nonetheless. 3 balls, 1 strike to Aleppo. Pitch from Martin. Inside for a strike. And the count goes full. Aleppo 0 for 2. Fielder's choice and a strikeout.
That wind is still just getting it.
Aleppo chops this one foul. And fielder's choice. Aleppo hit into an inning double play. Martin comes set from the stretch. The payoff pitch. Fastball. It's fouled back out of play. And Aleppo stays alive. Aleppo. Dalton Paul Porter on deck for the Raiders. And he's probably going to get shooed back here in just a second. Aleppo sends this one out to left. Valverde over, makes the catch. And Aleppo is retired.
Number 15 for the Raiders, Dalton Paul Porter.
F7 on the putout. 1 out with 1 on. Kane Adamas at second base, and that'll bring up the hard-hitting lefty, Dalton Paul Porter. Dalton flew out to right his previous at-bat. He takes for ball 1 on a pitch way inside. One and 0 the count to Porter. Pitch sails high for ball 2. Martin has the sight. He comes set. pitch. This is hit down the line into right, and that's going to score Adamas. Porter with an RBI single. Raiders stretch their lead.
That brings up now
4-0.
22 for the Raiders. Connor Bennett.
That'll bring up the shortstop, number 22, Connor Bennett. Connor Bennett picking up the win on Tuesday night when he came on in relief of Dalton Porter. Porter gets a good jump on Martin and steals the bag, and Hefner doesn't even make an attempt.
Doesn't even attempt. No, that's a good hit and run going there.
I mean, I think what Hefner went out there to tell him is like, dude, you've got to look over there.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even look.
Yeah, you've got to check that runner.
Make him work for it at least.
You don't want any slackers out there.
And Porter has great foot speed. The 1-0, this is cut on and popped up into center field. And it is caught by Pachinuik. And Porter will stay at second.
That'll bring up number 24 for the Raiders, Lance Little.
2 away for number 24, Lance Little. Martin comes set. He deals a pitch in the dirt, and that gets away from Hefner, and Porter is already at third base. Porter showing some savvy there at second base, watching the pitch, seeing how it was going to go in the dirt, and he just jumped on it.
He had a good lead on it.
He was 3/4 of the way to second before Hefner was out of his stance. The 1-0 pitch, that sails high for ball 2. Jared Southard on deck for the Raiders. 2 balls, no strikes to Lance Little. The pitch, this is chopped on and hit over to third. Horton has it, throws over to first in time, and that'll do it for the Raiders. But they pick up 1 run on 1 hit, 1 left on. After 5 complete, it's Rouse 4. The Grizzlies, nothing. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Michael Francis alongside my color analyst, the one and only, do-it-all Scott Mount, former Booster Club president for 2 years, and an esteemed member of the Williamson County Sheriff's Department, and a former Austin Energy employee.
Thank you, Maya. Austin Energy, great career. I'll tell you something else that's really great. When you're in the mood for some gardening, landscaping, organic, get rid of that chemical Roundup. Folks, you really need to go see our friends at Austin Woods Recycling. Local company right there off 1431. They're the ones that make that outstanding Texas native mulch. You can find it at the big box stores such as Lowe's, another sponsor of the program. But next time you buy some of that, just remember, part of your purchase goes back towards the Rouse Raider baseball program. We thank them for their sponsorship. You may have noticed we haven't spoke much about this, Michael, but the varsity players have new helmets this year, and that's something that Coach had stressed. And as you spoke about the uniforms,
right?
Make sure they don't grow feet and
walk off,
become a souvenir in somebody's dormitory for the next few years.
Austin Martin batting as he came in for Gabe Bolden. Takes his place in the lineup. Swing and a miss from Martin.
I know you've been waiting to hear this, Michael, but your Fighting Texas Aggies have now tied it up.
Gig 'em, buddy. Gig 'em. 0-2. That pitch sails high for ball one.
Good club.
The 1-2 pitch, curveball in for strike three, and Martin bends out of the way of it as he gets caught looking. Strikeout number 13 for Jared Southard.
Well, he's got good command of his pitches tonight, doesn't he?
Salcedo takes for strike one. Wow, I'm not sure where that missed.
Yeah, that's another one of those top of the sixth. Texas still leading Xavier 2-0.
Goodness gracious. He is not getting a whole lot of love here.
No, it's
2-1 to count to Salcedo, and Southern asked the umpire for the count. 2-1 sails high for ball three.
You know, I noticed the umpire has shifted over a little bit, like we've spoke early in earlier games. He's
Sets up almost in the batter's box.
yeah, almost in the box, so it's hard to see that that far corner.
Same exact pitch he pitched a while ago, but he calls it a strike. 3-2. The count to Salcedo. He fouls this one off, out of play. Count remains full. So I did an inspection today at the Central Texas Food Bank, a great thing that those folks do over there. Salcedo draws the walk.
And that's going to bring up number 3 for the Grizzlies, Daniel Vasquez.
And the need certainly is great right now.
Only the second walk of the evening for Southern. Pitch
Just not
misses
seeing where those are missing.
outside, and I don't either, but Daniel Vasquez, the shortstop, comes to the plate. Southern steps off and looks Salcedo back at first. Southern from the stretch. Fastball in for a called strike. Count evens at 1-1.
I think our scoreboard person stepped out for a minute.
The 1-1 pitch, this is fouled off for strike two.
Mr. Donald Porter's going to step in. And
Mr. Donald Paul Porter, he's going to assume the scoreboard and the PA duties.
I think Aunt Kinlan's going to have to send more money.
One and two, the count. Salcedo extends his lead at first. Southern deals. This is fouled off for Vasquez to stay alive. Fastball down the middle. Strike three. Vasquez caught looking and becomes strikeout victim number 14.
And that will bring up number 12 for the Grizzlies, Carson Garza. 2 outs.
Two away, and Carson Garza got a double off of Southern his previous at-bat as he takes for strike one. And that was a nice bending curveball from Jared Southern. The 0-1. This is got all popped up. Kingsbury didn't take his mask off. Well, typically, that's what a catcher does, and then he almost walks into the batter swinging the bat. I'm sure he'll hear that from Coach
He'll have some
Crampine.
motivational exercises, I'm sure. He just wasn't thinking. Just wrap it up. I'll put it in the truck.
0-2. This is popped up and playable. Lance Little tracks it, makes the catch. And that'll do it on the infield fly.
We go to the bottom.
No
of the
runs, no hits, one left on, and after 5.5, it's 4-0 Raiders here in Leander. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Still a really good night for baseball, folks. We've got a little bit of a game left. If you're contemplating coming down, come on down. Get some good food. Watch a great game.
That hamburger was pretty good. I think David Little might have gone to go get him
Is that
another
where
one.
he did? Won't be eating a hamburger tonight. You know what I've got a craving for is some fresh avocado.
Oh, that sounds good.
That does sound
I love
good.
a good avocado sandwich.
And good for you.
Due up for the Raiders in the 6th, Southern, Lewis, and Robbins. Coach Crampine making his trek over to the coach's box over on the third base side. Coach Crampine doing something he usually doesn't do. He has his pants pulled up to his knees.
He's in the Cliff Gustafson style tonight.
Yep. Cliff Gustafson.
And for you
Long
youngsters, that was a Longhorn baseball coach back in the.
I know that pains you to say that.
Hey, it's not the age, it's the mileage. A lot of miles.
Austin Martin on to pitch the 6th for the Grizzlies. He deals a fastball low for ball 1. I went to school with a nephew of his, but Rusty didn't go by Gustafson. He called it Gustafson, so we called it was Rusty Gustafson.
So here's a trivia question. What was Coach known for? What kind of sandwiches would he always take to the College World Series that his wife would always make for him?
A mayonnaise sandwich?
No. Honey and peanut butter.
Honey and peanut butter.
And local honey. If you're going to get honey, you got to get the local.
2-1 the count to Jared Southern. And Mr. Little back in the press box with us. Southern fouls this one off to even the count.
Did you get a good hamburger there? Yeah.
That was a 3-bite burger for Mr. Little. Went down almost as fast as boiled okra. The 2-2. This is hammered into left field. It'll be a leadoff single for Jared Southern. I think Southern 2 for 3 on the night. That'll bring up the second baseman, Dylan Lewis. Lewis 1 for 1 with a walk and a single.
And we have number 18, Big E, Ethan Moore, courtesy running for Jared Southern.
Ethan Moore, courtesy running for the pitcher. Martin goes into the stretch. Moore extends his lead, and Brown stays anchored to the back. Martin looks over to keep Ethan honest. Pitch. This is lined out into right, and Moore will hold up at second. And Lewis, with a hot bat, picks up his single.
That brings up number 4 for the Raiders, Tanner Robbins.
Raiders have a little rally going here.
Runners at first and second with no out, and coach of the Grizzlies calls time. He wants to go talk to his pitcher, especially with Tanner Robbins coming to the plate. Robbins with a home run and a single. He's 2 for 2.
We had this debate last time. What's our memories? Mr. Robbins a sophomore or a junior?
He is a senior.
He's a junior, we're being told. Okay.
No, he's a senior. I was told he was a senior.
Senior?
We said that, and that he was a junior. No, maybe that's right. No, somebody told us originally that he was a freshman.
Right, but he's a junior.
And then we found out he's a junior. That's
Okay.
right. That's right. That's what it is. It's the mileage. Pitching change.
And we have a pitching change, and that's going to be number 21 for the Grizzlies, Tucker Mavis.
Tucker Mavis comes on in relief of Austin Martin.
Michael, I believe you know the Mavis family.
I do know them well.
They stopped by to say hi to us last week, or
They
last
did.
Tuesday, I mean.
Saw Kim and Kurt, and got to visit with Kurt after the game. So it's good to see these younger siblings play. One of the last year, or when we played Leander out there at Concordia in that tournament game, I got to see Mason, and gosh, this last name just escaped me. And he's playing out in Texas Tech now. So he's doing well over there. He's starting. He's a lefty pitcher. Mason Montgomery.
Mason Montgomery for the Red Raiders.
Playing for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, but last year he was playing for the Leander Lions. But he was the younger brother of Jake Montgomery, who was another team member with Tim and Griffin Mavis on Brian Knabb's Raiders.
Brian Knabb. We remember Mr. Knabb. He did a lot of good things for this program as a volunteer, kind of set the bar really high.
At one time, he was the LCP president, league president. Very active in the community. Him and Carrie both. And their children, Marissa and Braden Knabb. Tanner Robbins comes to the plate. He will face Tucker for the first time tonight. Mavis from the stretch. He checks Moore back at second. He pitches this one in the dirt, and that will advance both runners. Runners at second and third on the wild pitch.
A little warm up here, Michael. I'm going to turn on their air conditioner a little bit.
Turn it on, Scott. Make it cold enough to hang meat in here.
I need a little bit more cowbell.
There you go, the 1-0. That's in the dirt.
I'm telling you, I got a fever, and the only cure is
It's
more cowbell.
That is hilarious.
Hey, Mike, that's Upchurch is on deck. Just FYI.
Number 13, Isaac Upchurch on deck for the Raiders as Tanner Robbins takes for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. First base is open. Mavis comes set. The high leg kick, and that's through the legs of Hefner. That will score more, and Robbins will round first. Nobody's really holding him there at first, but Lewis holds up at third. Raiders stretch their lead to 5.
Bring up number 13 for the Raiders, pinch hitter Isaac Upchurch.
Coach making it.
Robbins draws the walk, and he's probably not going to be a pinch hit. He's probably a substitution. He'll probably go to third base.
Yeah.
He's hitting for Matt Garcia. So umpires having to make notes in their books for the substitution. Upchurch takes for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Mavis. That's in the dirt for ball 2. Two and 0 to count to Upchurch. Runners on the corners. Pitch in the dirt. It's up in the air to the backstop. That will score Lewis. Robbins around second, and he's headed to third. He'll dive in without a throw. And the wheels fell off.
Here in the 6th, it's the errors again.
Making mistakes and having some wild pitches that are errors. Because when a run scores, that's an error to the pitcher.
That's an error to the pitcher.
He won on both of those runs that have scored. Upchurch draws the walk, and Mavis gives up back-to-back walks.
Number 5 for the Raiders, Fisher Kingsbury.
And coach is going to call time again, and they're going to make another substitution. Tucker not happy with himself. And he's digging up the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was ready to come out according to his mindset. But what player really ever wants to come out of the game?
Josh Pachinuik comes on in relief of Tucker Mavis.
Friends, this pitching change is brought to you by Lacombe Chiropractor, another supporter of the Raider baseball program. Some of the players actually go and get their treatment there.
Bolden on the hook for the loss should the Grizzlies lose this game. They're
Michael,
down
that's
6-0.
Scoreboard, am I reading that? Do we have 8 hits?
That's what it says on the board. Let me look and see on my book. I've got 7 hits in my book.
Well, we'll go with the scoreboard. But you know why we're hitting so well, don't you?
Well, we went 3 up, 3 down in the first.
I guarantee it's because of Zach Sneff at Kane Southwest Outdoor Facility, batting cages in Leander. He's really helped out the program this year, and we had all of that bad weather in February and March. We don't have covered cages here at Rouse Stadium, so Southwest Outdoor Facility in Leander, Kane Southwest Outdoor Facility, opened up to the players, and to this day they can go there and hit all they want. And he doesn't charge the players anything. And the batting improvement certainly has shown.
Yes, that is correct. 8 hits.
8 hits.
Yep.
Brings up number 5 for the Raiders, Fisher Kingsbury.
So I found the one that I was missing right there, and it was Tanner Robbins' home run. What a one to miss, right? Fisher Kingsbury fouls one off back to the fence. The first pitch from Josh Pachinuik. Runners on the corners with no outs for the Raiders. Pachinuik from the stretch, a swing and a miss from Kingsbury, and Upchurch will move down to second base on the cover swing. Runners at second and third. No outs for Fisher Kingsbury. The pitch from Pachinuik, high and outside. 1-2, the count to Kingsbury. Pachinuik comes set. He delivers. This one inside for ball 2. That'll even the count up. Two pitch. It's a curveball in for a called strike 3. It looked high and inside, but able to get the call. And
brings up number 6 for the Raiders, Jake Aleppo.
Kingsbury is retired for the first out.
Was high and inside.
And that will bring up Jake Aleppo, the center fielder. Pitch from Pachinuik drops in for a strike. Aleppo is 0 for 3 on the night. Pitch in the dirt for ball 1. He has struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, and flown out to left. The 1-1 pitch and misses for ball 2. Tanner Robbins just 90 feet away. The 2-1 pitch from Pachinuik in the dirt for ball 3. Aleppo ahead in the count. Dalton Porter on deck for the Raiders. Pachinuik comes set. He delivers in the dirt for ball 4, and that will load them, folks.
That'll bring up number 15 for the Raiders, Dalton Paul Porter.
Bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. And the left-hander, Dalton Porter, stands in. Pachinuik from the stretch. Fastball inside for ball 1. Hefner sets up on the outside of the plate. Pitch misses low down the middle for ball 2. Connor Bennett on deck. The 2-0. That is cut on and hit out to deep left. That's over the head of Valverde to the fence. That will score Robbins. And Upchurch will score. Porter with a stand-up double. And a 2 RBI double at that. On a high fly ball to left.
And he took that opposite field. The wind caught it and
That's going to bring up number 22.
sailed it right over the left fielder's head.
Raiders put 2 more on the board and lead this one 8-0. Runners at second and third for Connor Bennett, who takes for strike one. Two more, and the Raiders can go home. Bennett hits this one out to right. Throw home goes wide of the bag, and that's going to score Alepa, and Porter will score, and that will do it, folks. That should be the ball game. On the sac fly from Connor Bennett. Raiders run rule the Glen Grizzlies for the second time. At this time, they do it in 6 instead of 5. Jared Southard picks up the win. He has a 14 strikeout night against the Grizzlies. And he also has the shutout. Southard with an outstanding performance tonight versus the Grizzlies. And the Raiders have just tore things up. They came out of Tuesday outscoring their opposition. Hey, there's Scott Jacobs. I didn't see Scott in the house.
I did not either. The man
who my goodness,
pretty much started the entire Booster Club program.
Right. Man, great to have Scott here.
Bow to the master.
Hey, Scott, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Well, hello, Austin. How are you doing?
Doing good.
How's the Air Force?
It's been okay.
Awesome, man. Good to see you.
Half, man. He'll be a second lieutenant.
Oh, way to go.
Congratulations. Second lieutenant.
Lieutenant, cool. Man, looks like he's put on a few inches, too.
He's about the same height.
Is he? I think he's a little bit taller. I think he is. Did Holly come up here with y'all?
No, she's not feeling well, so she stayed home. But, glad to see you're still doing this.
Still doing
A
it.
lot more exciting when
Right.
you're winning a bunch.
And I don't have a kid in the
I know.
program, so yeah.
All right,
So-
guys, take care.
Yeah, you too.
See you later, Scott. Good seeing you, buddy.
Good seeing you guys.
Take care.
Great to see Scott Jacobs, another one of our alumni. Alumni parents. He had Kyle and Austin that went through the program here. And Scott did many things. He worked the pre-freshman team, the summer and fall baseball teams, and was Booster Club president for 2 or 3 years. And took over a troubled Booster Club.
Right.
And got things turned around and back on the right foot. So that went well. But, great night for the Raiders. As I was talking about before I saw Scott out in the stands, the Raiders have now outscored their opposition, Scott, 57-3.
57-3, folks. That shows the strength of Coach Crimpine's program, the strength of the hitting. Once again, thank Kane Southwest Hitting Facility in Leander.
Well, I take that back. They put 2 on the board the other night, so that's going to be 57-5.
57, yeah.
57-5. They've outscored their opposition, and there's just a ton of shutout innings that the Raiders have compiled in these first 6 games. Raiders take a 6-0 district lead, a 6-0 district lead, and sit atop of the District 17 5A standings. And we tip our hats to them. A great performance by Jared Southard on the mound tonight.
Went the full, complete game.
Well, he didn't get a complete game because you have to pitch all 7 innings to get the complete game.
Yeah, he was able to
He
stay in there.
He pitched all the innings available to him, so he pitched 5 innings. The Rouse offense Actually, no, he did. He pitched 6 innings because he pitched the top half. But anyway, outstanding performance by Jared Sutter, picking up the 14 strikeouts. Only gave up 1 hit on the night, the double to Carson Garza. And that was back in the 4th that Carson was able to hit that double out to left. Tip of the cap to Tanner Robbins picking up his first
Mr.
home
Robbins,
run.
home run.
And a tip of the cap to Connor Bennett for closing this one out on the sac fly to right to drive in the last 2 runs to run rule the Grizzlies and end the ball game.
You know, we had talked earlier, Michael, we talked about Coach Richards, and give a shout-out to him. One thing that I'd learned, he is a pitching coach, and it's starting to show. Got a really good pitching coach for the varsity here in Coach Richards. It's the type of program that Coach Crimpine had envisioned when he first came here. Things are coming together.
And the change from tournament play to district play has been tremendous.
It sure has. And just like that, folks, we're at the end of March. We're 1/3 of the season already over.
Yeah.
So.
And the Raiders undefeated in district play.
Undefeated in district.
Next week, we will be playing Weiss. And let me see. I will let you know exactly. I think I screenshotted it so I could easily find it. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, so next Tuesday versus Weiss, that'll be here at home. That'll be a 7 o'clock game start. And then Friday, April 5th, will be at their place. And again, that'll be a 7 o'clock start. And then the following week, we'll take on our crosstown rival, Cedar Park.
Cedar Park High School.
Another LISD rival. Then the following week we'll take on Pflugerville, and then we'll have our last broadcast of the regular season versus Georgetown to close out that part of it, and then we'll go into playoff mode, and we'll see from the Booster
We'll
Club
see from there
if they want to continue to fund the playoff broadcasts. So I'm sure they will. That won't be no problem. So
we enjoy having all of our fans listen in, our alumni fans, and our fans that are across the nation that can't be with us tonight. Thank you, folks, for listening in. Once again, our final score, your Rouse Raiders 10, the Glen Grizzlies 0.
So we thank y'all. As Scott mentioned, you've been listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. I'm Michael Francis along with Scott Mount. Enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Good night and God bless everybody from Leander.